One of the important things when you're teaching procedures is to focus intensely on transitions, because that's when kids usually have the most problems, and that's when you get the most behavior issues coming up. The first thing to consider in your transitions is letting the children know when the transition is going to happen. I recommend that you give very clear warnings. How many warnings you need depends on the age of the children and how involved they are in the activity. If it's an activity that children are deeply interested in and have been doing it for a long time, you might need to give a couple of warnings. You might need to say, we have 5 minutes left, or we have 10 minutes left, and then again at 3 minutes, and then maybe again at 1 minute. Young children also need a lot of warnings, and they might need something more concrete. So you might want to put a timer on the smart board or have it clearly seen. And the timer is also helpful because it comes from somebody else, not you. So it's sort of an objective measure of when we have to transition.
Okay, I think I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes, okay? So make it quick. You have 2 minutes to finish up. Right. Okay, let's see who can clean up the right way. Thank you for continuing to have that whisper.
Another technique that you want to use in your transitions is music. Human beings just respond beautifully to music. Even adults. Think about how we all know we stand up as soon as the Star-Spangled Banner starts at a sports event. Or think about how music is used in churches and temples and religious rituals. It signals when we sit, when we stand, what comes next. So we're used to using music for our transitions. So don't be afraid to have music for your transitions. I know we've used that in early childhood for many years, but there's no reason why you can't use developmentally appropriate music or audio for any grade level.
Put the books away, and I would like for you to come and sit on your letter space.
Another issue that comes up in transitions is what the teacher is doing. What I sometimes see, and this is an easy trap to fall into, is you're transitioning the children and then you go off and get your materials ready. So you've just told the children to clean up, we're done with Reader's Workshop, and now you're getting out your math materials and you're finding your math video and you're finding your math book, and the kids go a little nuts. So the trick to this is to make sure you have all your materials ready before you start the transition so that you can actively supervise that transition. And once the kids are all ready, then you've got your materials and you can start right away. Keeping that pace brisk and not having any time in which the kids have nothing to do is critical. One of the best ways to manage your transitions is to move children gradually from one area to another. So let's imagine you've got the kids at the desk and you're moving them over to the carpet for a read aloud. You don't want to have 25 kids moving at once, so call one table at a time, or call on certain groups, or you can even call specific children. You can make this a little bit more academic. With young children, you can call people who are wearing red, or somebody whose name starts with the ah sound. With older children, maybe you could use specific vocabulary words, or kind of make it more game-like. But don't have 25 kids do anything all at once.
Okay, so let's have, if you sit, Ashley, sit down. If you sit at table 4, go and get your reading tray and go to your reading spot. You know where it is. Amaya, I have yours here. Great job. If you sit at table 3, go get your reading tray and go to your reading spot.
One of the techniques that I love in making our transitions better is to use the children's imagination. This comes naturally to kids, so you can do things like, let's pretend we're mice creeping in the hallway to keep them quiet, or let's pretend we're a super sleuth and we're looking for clues and we have to be quiet so the bad guys don't hear us. any kind of imagination you can. I mean, you can have a wand that you wave that signals that it's the end of math time and it's the start of snack or break time, or, you know, a spray bottle that you spray when they're ready to change, and to keep them quiet. Anyway, use imagination, use creativity. Transitions don't have to be boring and like a drill sergeant. They can be fun and enjoyable even when they're very precise and quick. An important issue to think about when you're planning transitions is the children who have special needs in your classroom. There are a number of techniques that you can use to make this work better for all of the kids. One is to have these children transition before everybody else. So, for example, you could move a child to the carpet before the rest of the kids come over, or a specific child could be the first one to go to the coat room to get his coat, or this child could be the first one to make their choice on the choice board and then let the other kids go. Or conversely, they could be the last one. You get everybody to the carpet and then you have that child come over so they're not overwhelmed by the movement. Or they'll be the last one to go get their snack so that they're not in that crazy environment where everybody's moving around. Another thing to try is an individual timer. Sometimes children with special needs have trouble transitioning from one thing to another. So give them plenty of warnings, and you can put a timer right on their desk so that they can see how much time that they have left. Finally, another thing to use with children with special needs are visuals. We all do better when we see visually what's going to happen. You can use cue cards. In step 5, we talk more about these cue cards and I'll explain them more. But for now, it's just nice to know that you can visually cue a child as to what's happening next, and that helps them make the transition.